Hey peeps, it's me. I'm back again. I am going to be go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and be recording my Week 6 NFL picks. So this is actually I'm recording it on a Thursday. So before the Thursday game has been filmed and televised and all that. So that's good. So the first game that we're going to talk about today is the New England Patriots versus the New York Giants. And from there, we're going to kind of go this way and then down and then over. So it's going to be over, down. Okay. So I have to actually think about this because I haven't actually picked out the scores in my head yet. But Patriots versus Giants, though. Is this in New York or Foxborough? It is in Foxborough. Okay. So, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think the Patriots are going to go ahead and win this one. I can't really pick against the Patriots on this one, but I actually think it's going to be closer than people think. I'm going to go ahead and give the Patriots maybe a 27-20 game. The Patriots' defense has been pretty good this year. I don't think they're as good as everybody thinks they are. The Patriots have had a really easy schedule up until now. And with Daniel Jones at quarterback, the Giants are ironically the hardest team they've played all season, I'd say. They are the team with the most wins that they played all season, so there's that. Panthers and Buccaneers. This is a tough one. This is tough because I do believe in the backup quarterback of the Panthers. I think he's good. I actually have him on my fantasy team right now, Ken Anderson. I think he's a good quarterback. I like Christian McCaffrey. Jameis Winston has been surprising to me. I didn't actually think he was that good. Looks like this is a London game. And I actually think the Panthers are barely going to edge out the Bucs in this one. This is going to be a high-scoring game. Both these teams score a lot of points. So I'm going to say it's going to be 32-30 or something crazy. London is actually getting a lot of good games this year so far, it would seem. Dolphins versus Redskins. This game is it's either going to be really good or really horrible. And both teams are bad. Both teams without a win. One of these teams is going to get a win. I think the Redskins are slightly better than the Dolphins. I actually don't think the Dolphins are going to get any wins at all this season. But if there's one game they could win this season, it's against the Skins. No, I don't think they're gonna beat the Redskins. If the Redskins are smart and start either, what's his face, Colt McCoy, or I'm forgetting his name, but the guy that was the Broncos quarterback last year, Case Keenum. There we go. If they start either McCoy or Keenum, they'll win. If they start Haskins, they'll lose. Haskins is not ready to start in the NFL right now. For right now, he's just a backup. I think we saw that when they put him in a couple of weeks ago. He threw 3 interceptions. It was not good. Just proving all the people wrong who said he should have been picked ahead of Daniel Jones. Clearly the Giants made a good decision on that. And Josh Rosen is not much better. And the Dolphins as a team are not. It's just bad. I'm just going to say that this one is going to be I don't know, maybe 20-13 Skins. I don't know. Saints-Jags. Now this is an interesting game. I think the Saints are an overall better team than the Jaguars. And because of that, I think I have to go with the Saints. I'm not a huge Teddy Bridgewater fan, but he's been doing pretty well so far. Gardner Minshew and the Jaguars' offense will make it tough on the Saints. But I just think that the Saints head coaching staff and their coaching staff in general are better than the Jags coaching staff. And because of that, I feel like the Saints will have a better game plan to deal. They probably have enough tape to figure out what Gardner Minshew is not good at and what he is good at. And because of that, I think they'll be able to take away some options from him. It's going to be a close, probably high scoring, maybe a little bit lower than people think. So I think I'm going to give the Saints a 4-point win here, 24-20 Saints. I just don't see how it's going to be anything different than that. Bengals, Ravens. Okay, the Ravens are going to win this game. Lamar Jackson's first game against the Bengals was his first game in his career last year, and the Ravens dominated that game. And I feel like even though they haven't looked the best over the past couple of weeks, the Bengals have honestly, they started out good and now they're doing even worse. They haven't even won a single game this season. They're in the same camp as the Dolphins and Redskins, and in all honesty, because they're such a bad team, I just think the Ravens are going to have an easy time beating them this time. That being said, I think the Bengals will keep it close because it's a divisional matchup, but it's also in Baltimore, so that makes me feel like the Ravens are going to have an easier time winning the game. And I think they're going to win by like a touchdown, so maybe like 27-20 or something. I mean, I know the Bengals are going to make it a little bit tough for the Ravens throughout. They will make it tough. They always do. But I don't think the Bengals are really good at finishing games. I feel like that's their problem. They do well throughout the game, and then they get to the fourth quarter, and then they're like, oh no, stop, please, we can't play 4 quarters. Like, it's so weird. But yeah, it's basically what happens. Browns and Seahawks. The Browns are, I don't even know what they are at this point. The Browns don't even know what they are themselves. A couple weeks ago against the Ravens, I was like, oh, looks like the Browns finally figured themselves out because they actually shellacked the Ravens. But I actually think the Seahawks are a better team, and that's why I'm going to give them like a 3-point win. Like maybe 23-20 or something like that. And in all honesty, I feel like Baker Mayfield is an average quarterback, but I just don't see him being like top 10. And the Browns fans probably think he's top 10, but if you look at his stats, the guy throws a lot of interceptions. He's not as good as people think he is. And Russell Wilson is far superior to Baker Mayfield. And, I mean, the Seahawks have looked good this year. And the Browns have kind of just looked mediocre. And against really good teams, they lose. So that's probably what's going to happen in this game. Eagles-Vikings. This one comes down to whether Kirk Cousins is able to perform at his best level, or if he's able to perform, or if he performs at his mediocre level. So far this season, it's been kind of a mix. He's done enough to win a few games. I think the Eagles definitely have a better quarterback in Carson Wentz. I just don't know if the Eagles are healthy enough to win against that Vikings defense. This is a tough game for both teams. It's pretty interesting that this game is being played at 1 o'clock. I would have expected it more in the 4 o'clock slot, but it appears to be in Minnesota. I'm going to give the Eagles a 3-point win on this one, maybe. I feel like the Eagles are going to win this game. I feel like they're going to win this game maybe 27-24 or something like that. And the reason I think the Eagles are going to win this game is mostly just because I have more confidence in Carson Wentz than Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has his moments, but Carson Wentz has those kind of moments all the time in almost every game. So I'm just going to give this one to the Eagles. Texans-Chiefs. Okay, so the Chiefs lost to the Colts last week in a rare loss for them. I don't foresee that happening again. This will be a high-scoring game. I will say that the Chiefs are going to win this thing like maybe 40-35. It's going to be high-scoring. You got two of the most exciting quarterbacks in the NFL playing against each other with two very mediocre defenses and the Texans' offensive line being awful. So there's that. I just think the Chiefs are an overall better team than the Texans, and I feel like even though the Colts did expose a little bit of the Chiefs' weaknesses, I don't think the Texans are going to be able to do the same thing. Cardinals and Falcons. This is the first 4 o'clock game, apparently. Okay, so this game doesn't really matter, but Falcons and Cardinals, both teams are so mediocre that it hurts. Both teams have decent quarterbacks. Both teams have various glaring flaws. And with how everything is going, I think I'm going to give this one to the Falcons, ironically. I just have this gut feeling the Falcons are going to be able to beat the Cardinals in some, weird way. And it's going to be, maybe 17-13. It's going to be a low-scoring game. But I just feel that the Falcons will come up on top somehow. I just don't know. Rams and Niners. Okay, the Niners have been on a roll. The Rams just don't look like themselves as of late. And I honestly don't think Jared Goff is really all that great. He's a good quarterback, but he's not, one of the best. He's not, top 10. He's not elite. He's good. There's a lot of guys like that. I believe Jimmy Garoppolo is in the same position. The thing is, the Niners might actually just be a better team. They might actually just be a better team, and I'm going to give the Niners the win here. How can I not give the Niners the win here? They're undefeated, and the Rams have lost a couple of games. Jimmy G is really good. George Kittle is good. Baeta is good. I played against a guy that had Baeta in fantasy last week, and I was winning by 40 points. And then he almost came back to beat me. He didn't beat me, but Baeta gave him 20-plus points last week. Granted, Michael Thomas gave me 41, but that's a solid running back they got. It's two solid running backs, and I honestly think this game is more about the running game than the passing game. Watch both running backs, Todd Gurley and Baeta. They're both good backs. It's going to be an exciting game. What I say the score is going to be, 49ers are going to... I don't want to mess it up, but I'm just going to say the score again just in case. I might predict two different scores here, but I don't care. I'm going to give this one to the Niners. I'm going to say it's going to be 27-24 or something. I'm pretty sure I said something else before. I don't care. Titans Broncos. Okay, so this game is in Denver. The Broncos won their first game last week. The Titans are weird. I don't know. I really don't know what to say about this game. This is tough. I want to believe that Joe Flacco is good enough to get a second win here, but I also want to believe that the Titans are just a better team. And I feel like this is very evenly matched up. The Broncos are not as bad as their record may say they are, but they're not that good either. And the Titans are not as good as people think they are, but they're not that bad either. This is such a weird game. I feel like Joe Flacco will be able to build off last week's win, but I also feel like the Titans are kind of so up and down that this week they're gonna play really well. I don't know, man. I actually could see this one going to the Broncos, and the reason I feel like being at home gives the Broncos a slight advantage, and it's two average quarterbacks, so it's the battle of averageness at QB. And in all honesty, I just feel like the Broncos being at home gives them like a little bit of a slight edge, and I actually believe Joe Flacco is gonna be able to build off last week's win a little bit. Maybe even if it's just for 1 week, I feel like he's gonna probably be able to do that. So yeah, like I said, I think this game is gonna be like maybe like 20-13 or something. I don't know. Broncos win. I probably predicted 2 scores for that as well. I'm just gonna say my last score was the actual one. Cowboys versus Jets. Okay, the Cowboys are gonna absolutely dominate. I don't care if Sam Darnold's coming back. The Cowboys are gonna dominate. The Jets stink. I said it. The Jets stink. The Cowboys are gonna dominate. It's true. Listen, it's probably going to be a little bit closer. I'm going to give it like 27-14 Cowboys. Sam Darnold returning allows the Jets to score a couple points in this game, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Okay, Chargers, Steelers. This is like whoever loses this game might as well give up on their season after this game, because the Chargers have not looked good. The Steelers have not looked good. Both teams made the playoffs one of them made the playoffs last year. The other one didn't. The Steelers did not make the play. They almost did. And the Chargers choked in the playoffs like they always do. Okay. So, now what? I actually want to give the edge to the Chargers in this one, because Mason Rudolph has a concussion, and Ben Roethlisberger is injured. You know what that means? That means the Steelers are now relying on Devin Hodges to make plays. And he's a third-string QB for a reason. Exactly. Although I don't think he's that bad, because he was actually able to make a couple passes against the Ravens defense last week. But even so though, like, I actually still feel like the Chargers have Phillip Rivers, and the Steelers are playing Devin Hodges. Who do you think is going to win the game? Like, this is a prime time game, probably because they thought that Big Ben was going to be starting the whole last season, but he got injured in week 2, and now Mason Rudolph is injured with a concussion, and the Steelers are kind of out of it. But the Chargers stink as well, so this might just be like, who sucks worse? So, I don't know. I feel like it's going to easily be like, maybe like a 17-13 game with the Chargers winning it barely. Lions-Packers. Okay, this is also tough. I'm just going to go with the Packers just because I trust Aaron Rodgers. I trust him to be able to beat the Lions. I mean, like, the Lions have showed out this season. They have showed out, and they have done very well this season. But the Packers have also showed out, too. And I feel like with the Lions' defense just being awful, and the fact is they played the Chiefs a couple weeks ago, and they weren't able to beat the Chiefs, and Aaron Rodgers and the Packers run a similar offense to what the Chiefs do. I just think the Packers are just going to win this one. This is going to be a high scoring, though. This is going to be like 34-30. Which it might actually be like the same score of the Lions-Chiefs game a couple of weeks ago. But it's also in Green Bay, which gives the Packers another edge. Right there. So yeah, Packers by 4. Alright, well that's the end of the video. Give this video a good old like. Hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. And yeah, we'll see you maybe next week, potentially. Don't know for sure. Hopefully next week. Exactly. Alrighty then.